Okay, I want to continue with some of your phone calls and then get more into eugenics and some other little notes I've written here that I want to discuss. Maybe I should just wait till Sunday, 4 to 6 p.m. We will be live, even though the holiday's coming up, with the abbreviated Sunday broadcast I've been doing now for 3 years. Been in this time slot for 13 years, been on the air for 15. It's just amazing. I also want to encourage listeners out there who've just tuned in to go to Infowars.com, or the online video bookstore, and to get films like Don't Tread on Me, Invisible Empire, New Order Defined, Police State 4, The Rise of FEMA, the 3 newest films we're offering, 2 of which I produced, 1 of which I directed. Because you may know all about the New World Order. You know, you've got a master's degree in it. A lot of you that have been listening to this show and other shows and doing your own shows or blogs for many years. You know, some of you have more knowledge than I have in some areas. I've got more knowledge than some of you in other areas. We're all learning together. But the lady down the street, your boss, your neighbor, your employees, they don't know. They don't know. They may know about states' rights and the Second Amendment, and that's good. They may know about big offshore corporations. They may know politicians are lying to them. But they can't even begin to know that it's on paper that a world government's been set up and that they want to basically carry out world population reduction. And how the banking cartels control the planet. It is so important to educate people now. And the power of you, the people, getting the Obama deception or Invisible Empire or Fall the Republic and making copies of them and giving them to your state house members and giving it to local doctors and your rabbi or your pastor or your imam or your... I don't know what the animists worship, to your rock. You could bring, if you're an animist, you could bring the DVD to the rock. I'm sorry, I'm being sarcastic. The point is, we need to reach out to influential people with the truth of what's going on. I mean, I've proven there's FEMA camps. I've proven they're training to confiscate our guns 100% in The Rise of FEMA, the new film. We prove there's a world government being set up and then it's authoritarian and undemocratic in Invisible Empire. It's all available at Infowars.com. And yes, your purchase funds the news websites, the radio show, the future films, the TV program I'm setting up and developing it. I mean, we built our own studio. I've got to do a tour of that in the next week, shoot some video, show you what we've built. You know, the building's done from an empty warehouse. Now I've got to fund putting all the equipment in. So your purchases of the books, the videos, the T-shirts, the materials also funds our operation. So Infowars.com or 888-253-3139 to call and ask about the free film deals and discounts and combo deals we have as well when you call. Okay, let me run through a few headlines, then I'm going to go to Eddie, Dan, Truth Patriot, Dean, and Eric, at least those calls. Rise of the New Right, MSNBC documentary cites Alex Jones, Rand Paul as extremist. It's a Steve Watson article. It's up at GCNlive.com, and it's got the trailer for the TV show coming out where they really demonize the American people and imply that wanting to take your country back is somehow terrorist. But what do you expect from Chris Matthews? He says you're a racist if you're against the government running your health care. Do whatever they say or they'll call you a racist. Just hand those guns in. Things will be much better. They want to take care of you. They're really loving liberals. They're not even liberals, folks. These are control freak, psyop individuals trying to make you feel guilty to give up your freedoms. Important article also up on GCNlive.com. Ron Paul defends Rand against concerted corporate media attack. He says, it sure didn't take long for the entire establishment to attack my son Rand in the days after he won the Kentucky Senate primary. And he goes on to say, as I left Kentucky last week, I was both happy for Rand and anxious for what I knew would be coming at him soon. But it came sooner than even I feared. It's like when he was trying to get back in Congress in 96, they got on air and said, Ron Paul wants to give cocaine to children. I remember the TV ads. And I had him on in 96. And he explained that wasn't the case. He was for drug decriminalization. And he explained how under alcohol prohibition, alcohol use tripled, poisoning increased, the police became corrupted, just like China finally had to legalize opium to kick the British out because the British were coming in with it illegal and making all the money and overthrowing their country. And he talks about the mainstream media has gone into all-out warfare against Rand, beginning with 24 hours of repeating outright lies about him. And again, they're trying to demonize the entire liberty, Constitution, Tea Party movement with Rand. And it's not going to work if we stand up and tell the truth. So you can read the rest of that article. He says now he is under all-out attack. And he goes on to say they are scared and they should be scared. We are taking this country back. So you can read all of that up there at GCNlive.com. And you know what? Again, I meant to get to this, and so I will in the last 5 minutes of the show. But I can't do justice in just 5 minutes, so I'll cover it. But I promise I'm going to spend at least 1 hour on super vaccines that literally reprogram your brain. I know that sounds science fiction. It's 2010, folks. On the Sunday show, 4 to 6 p.m. We'll cover other news as well. But here's another one on Rand Paul. Daily Cost releases dubious poll to undermine support for Rand Paul. And then it just goes over the fact that other polls show him with a 25-point lead. It was only 20% a week and a half ago when he won the primary for the Senate in Kentucky. But Rasmussen, which is probably the one of the best, if not the best outfit, and our article goes over the fact that independent groups, have shown that Rasmussen has, quote, the least House effect, meaning, whatever political party funds them, that's the response they give you, and that the worst House effect out there is this group that Daily Cost commissioned, and they put out a bunch of other ridiculous polls that have turned out to be completely upside down. And so they're saying, oh, he's going to lose. He had a 20-point lead. It's only 3-point lead now. Meanwhile, Rasmussen shows he went from 20 to 25. He's gaining. Here's an example of it. We have Infowars.com polls a couple times a week. And you might get 10,000 people, that chime in. And it's normally a patriot response. I can always look at the poll, and it doesn't show you the results till you vote. You can only vote once. And when you vote, we had a poll 2 weeks ago, will Rand Paul win? And 90+% said yes because they could see the polls. But let's say you have a Second Amendment poll, asking you a question. Do you think Illinois should be banning, all the firearms and saying you're going to go to prison if you own any, as this new legislation proposes? You'll get 99% in a vote, of say 7,000 voters. You'll have 6,000, 90 plus. And I'm just throwing out dead reckonings from things I've seen in the past on my website, where 99% of the people or more are pro-Second Amendment. Well, that's a House effect.